Hello, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm so excited to share something really dear to my heart, and that's my journey of starting my very first backyard garden. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but just never got around to it, but we finally did it. Yay. In this video, I'm going to share our whole process, the wins, the lessons, and triumphs, failures, all of that good stuff. I'm no expert. I'm just somebody who, had an idea, dove in, and was able to figure it out. My hope is that this video inspires you to, start your own garden, or if that's not for you, just, start something new, find some joy in your life in whatever way that comes. Hopefully you'll get some gardening tips through this video, and start your own garden if that's your heart's desire. Let's get into it. So here are the steps that I took in building my garden. Step one was location. Finding the right spot was a bit more complicated than I thought it was going to be. It kind of was a little more technical and all those things, but maybe I just, was doing too much. I don't know. When we initially purchased this property, it was actually a garden already kind of established in the backyard. So, of course, first inkling was to go ahead and, put it there. If it worked for them, it worked for us. But being who I am, of course, I did a lot of research on my own to make sure that was a good spot. When doing my research, I found out that you have to look at two main things in choosing a location. So first, you want to make sure that you have a spot that is sunny for the most part year round, full sun. Then secondly, elevation, which I'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. So we thought we found the perfect spot to designate for the garden that was already, set from, like I said, the previous owners. And I did my research, everything lined up, but we soon realized that, there was a little problem. Aww. And that was that it flooded. So thank God we got a really heavy rain right before we were starting to get everything set up for the garden, and there was like so much flooding. I mean, puddles on puddles. A lot of water everywhere. So we had to go back to the drawing board and try to find another location that would be suitable for the garden. So eventually I found a good spot. It was higher ground, still good sunlight, and we were ready to get to work. And by the way, I've linked a few resources in my description box that were really helpful to me. So if you're thinking of starting your own garden and you want a few more details, go ahead and check those out. So once the location was all set, it was time for us to figure out the layout and design of how we wanted everything to be configured for function and flow and all of that. One of the first decisions we had to make was whether or not we wanted to plant in ground or use raised beds. I ended up choosing raised beds because I just love the aesthetic, how they look. You gotta keep it cute. But also because we have a septic drain field, and I was kind of concerned on whether or not it was good to plant in ground and how far it needed to be away from the drain field and all of that kind of stuff. So chose to definitely go with raised beds. It worked best for my yard and for our needs, and just felt safer and just the cleanest and best for us. So raised beds it is. My husband and my son had actually built some wooden raised beds for the first location actually a couple years ago. Don't judge me. When I first had the idea to actually do a garden, took us a while, like I said, to get to it, but hey, we're here now. So we were able to definitely use those, move those over, and just get it all laid out and ready to go. So we came together, mapped everything out, put it into the layout that best worked for what we were looking for, and ended up setting it all up in no time. Now on to step 3, one of the most satisfying parts, which was preparing for planting, because we were almost there. So it was so exciting to get to this part where we're actually starting to fill the raised beds and get all of the garden must-haves and all of that stuff. So it was exciting to finally get to actually preparing to grow something. And we decided to use a layering method that I kept coming across as I was looking to figure out how to fill the raised beds. And it really worked well for us. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. And if you have raised beds you need to fill, hey, give it a try. So when you're filling the raised beds, on the bottom layer, and this is so that you don't have to buy so much soil to fill the raised bed up, you can kind of cut costs and cheat things a little bit if you do it this way. The bottom layer is a layer of large logs and large sticks, and this is great for drainage, and over time it'll decompose, and also it'll take up a lot of space when you're first filling it up. So it's a really great option to start with. So second layer is going to be leaves and yard clippings, so anything that's like dry material, organic material that you can just throw in there, even dirt in your yard, just to kind of fill it up a little bit more, to again not have to buy so much soil, and also it will decompose over time and help the quality of the soil eventually. And then of course the top layer will be your garden soil. So being a first-time gardener, choosing the right soil was a bit overwhelming. So many options. We got the big box stores and everything that's in there. I wanted to do the whole organic thing, and I had 4 big beds that I needed to fill. So it was kind of overwhelming to come up with exactly what would work for us. But we ended up going with a company that sold garden soil with the compost and everything already in it, in bulk. We bought it in bulk, and they actually delivered it right to the house, so that was perfect. Then finally we covered the garden soil with mulch. We chose pine straw. That's just to help with drainage and to keep the moisture inside the soil. Just kind of protects it, all while you're planting and until you actually start to plant. So building this garden was a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. But it was definitely worth it. It brought so much value to my life, to my family as a whole. It allows for us to have something that we can do together that's positive. And for me personally, it's helped with me getting out in nature and enjoying nature a little bit more on a regular basis. Nothing more special than growing and building something from scratch with your own hands, planting seeds and watching it grow into these, lush plants, and then you actually get to get food and eat from your own efforts. It's a wonderful experience. So it has definitely brought joy and lots of benefit and value to my life and my family. If you're thinking about starting a garden, I'm hoping that this video has given you a little nudge to go ahead and give it a try. It doesn't have to be like this big project that we did, but just something small, whether it's in pots or whatever you can do at your home. If gardening is not for you, which that's okay. Everybody got their own things. Hopefully this video has kind of encouraged you to just learn a new skill or get into something creative. Find something that can kind of get you out of the hustle and bustle of life and slow you down a little bit, bring a little more joy, peace, and all that good stuff into your world on a more regular basis. So don't be afraid to jump in there, figure it out as you go. It's all a journey. I'm learning to enjoy the journey and not be so focused on the end results and being so result driven, but actually enjoy the process. Well, thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring or helpful in any way, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And I have a lot more garden videos coming and so much other stuff as well. So go ahead and join the tribe, and let's go ahead and continue to grow together. See you next time. You think you got something out of that? I'm not. When I'm on, I'm on.
Showtime.
When I'm off, I'm off. Jada.